Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and this is probably going to be the last one of the Duskmourn cards I cover for a little while, unless people leave a comment down below and tell me there's a card I haven't done they want to see me do, because I'm a little bit uninspired at the moment. So I've reached out to some of my streaming followers and people who chat on my Discord channel, and they've given me some suggestions. So the rest of this week is going to be suggested cards, and probably next week. But if there's a card you want me to do, let me know down below in the comments. But for now, Valgavoth, Harrower of Souls, 2 black-red for a 4/4 Elder Demon. Has flying, ward is pay 2 life, which is a little not overly challenging in Commander, but the lower it gets, it becomes more challenging to do. But whenever an opponent loses life for the first time time during each of their turns, put a +1/+1 character on Valgavoth and draw a card. Right then. So you've got to make your opponents lose life in their turns. Valgavoth gets bigger, and because it gets bigger it means commander damage is a lot more achievable. And yeah, I've played against Valgavoth Harrower of Souls a few times now, including the pre-con deck, which is still very strong, and a few other builds, and yeah, I've always struggled against it. So I figured it was my turn to have a look at it, to kick the week, well, to kick this week off with the last Duskmourn card, as I say, for a while, and look at Valgavoth. So here's what I've come up with. Before we go through the whole deck, let's just want to point out the cost. Tabletop is high because of a couple of the cards, and I'll point them out as we go along. And MTGO is nicely the cheapest deck I've done. Again, it's because a couple of the cards that are here, but bear with me. So here we go. Start at the beginning. We're only going to play 19 creatures in the deck because we want things that will trigger during an opponent's turn, and there's not that many actually that really help out. The first one, you've got to have a red permanent play, and that's the Kedrek Parasite. Whenever an opponent draws a card, if you control a red permanent, it deals 1 damage to that player. So, even on their initial draw on each turn, if you have this in play and a red permanent, you'll get 1 damage. And if Valgavoth's in play, Valgavoth's again bigger there and then. We've got the ones people expect to see. So Blood Artist is here. Creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You target the person whose turn it is when the creature dies, so you trigger Valgavoth. Bloodseeker, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, they lose 1 life. A little bit of an unusual one. I forgot this one existed from M12. I think it's been reprinted a couple of times since then, but it still works with Valgavoth. Eidolon of the Great Revel, cast a spell with mana value 3 or less, it deals 2 damage to that player. Again, they're casting a spell, therefore in their turn they will be doing this and making Valgavoth bigger. Razorkin Needlehead comes in from Duskmourn itself. Has first strike of our turn, but whenever an opponent draws a card, Razorkin Needlehead deals 1 damage to them. Great if you've got Valgavoth out, don't forget it. I just like Furnace Punisher. It's from March of the Machines or something, if I remember correctly. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Furnace Punisher deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. Now, that means you as well, so you will take some damage from this, but most people play non-basics in Commander, so this should be quite a good way of getting some damage in until they hit, unless they're playing green, in which case they're probably going to get 2 frosts out very quickly, and this will stop triggering, but you'll get some damage hopefully from it. Screaming Nemesis also comes in from Duskmourn. Is dealt damage it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt damage this way, they can't gain life for the rest of the game. We do have a little bit of a combo with this, so bear with me, I'll come back to this one shortly. Vile Smasher the Fierce, just because of the fun factor, and it's a red-black deck and I just like playing Vile Smasher, no other reason for it being in here. Zozu the Punisher, hurts people for dropping lands into play, great with Valgavoth in play. Zizoth the Chaos Rider. This is a bit of a strange one. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red devil token. But whenever 1 or more devils that you control attack 1 or more players, you and those players each draw a card, then discard a card at random. The reason I've got the devil, this one in here, the card draw, it helps. Obviously, if you've got things in play that we've already talked about that will help with that, but the devils are really quite nice little tokens, because if they attack you can block, you can kill your token off, you can ping them for a point if you haven't got, say, Blood Artist in play, so you still make Valgavoth bigger, bear in mind. Fey Unravel is just good, 1 damage when they draw a card. Mogus God of Slaughter, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep they have to sack a creature or take 2 damage, which makes the life gain happen. keeps getting Valgavoth bigger. Obnixes, Captive Kingpin. Whenever one or more opponents lose exactly 1 life, this gets bigger and you can exile the top card of our library. Now we have a lot of ways of losing exactly 1 life, so it makes sense to have this here. I like another version of Rakdos, Lord of Riots is also in. You can't cast a spell unless an opponent lost life this turn. Okay, you can do it on your second main phase, that's fine. But creature spells cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn, which does help. Yeah, black deck, Gary's here, no comment. Junith, Carnage Connoisseur, also makes an appearance. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one. You're not going to really choose the Death Touch and Lifelink for this deck. You are going to choose the Let's Get a 2/2 red imp creature token. When it dies, it shocks something. Oh, shocks each opponent, I should say. Yeah, we'll go with that. Cezanne, Perverter of Truth, also triggers on the upkeep each turn for each player. So with Valgavoth in play, you will be able to get those cards going and growing Valgavoth. Thieving Amalgam is also a bit of a strange one. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you manifest the top card of that player's library, and whenever a creature you control that you don't own dies, its owner loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Just have to remember whose cards you manifested, but it's good fun in this deck. And you can't really play Valgavoth without playing the big version of Valgavoth, which I still love. I still think it's great. People still ask me not to play it on stream. Yeah, it's a wee bit broken, this one, but it's great. But 9 mana is a lot, I'm aware of that, so bear with me. 2 Planeswalkers just to help out. Obnixless, the Twisted Hate, whenever an opponent draws a card, it pings them for 1. And then Chandra, Awakened Inferno, get those emblems out. They get the damage each. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. Another way of triggering Valgavoth every turn. We have a few spells to help us out and keep things under control. So Dark Rituals power things out a little bit quicker, which is not a card I usually play in Commander, but in this one it seemed to have a reasonably good place. Lightning Bolt for direct damage. Vamp Tutor just to go and find something we need. Vandal Blast to take out all those artifacts. We will do this for the Overload. Abrade to take out one that we haven't been able to deal with the Overload, or 3 damage to a creature that's annoying us. A bit more ramp with the Cabal Ritual. We should hit Threshold quite easily, so 2 black for 5. It could be quite possible with this deck. Another Tutor in DTs here. Terminate for a bit more targeted removal. Playing a red deck, so Jessica's Wills here for the ramp and the cards for 1 turn. Colligan's Command doubles up as returning creature cards from our graveyard to our hand, and a little bit of 2 damage. Also, if we need to get someone to discard something or get rid of an artifact, we've got that option with it as well. Toxic Deluge, Damnation for board control. Dance with the Devils is here, just to give us some more of those nice little devil tokens. Yes, it's 4 mana for 2 1/1s, but it does come in at instant speed, so it does throw off the blocking math, so it's worth having. Burn Down the House plays double duty. It's either going to be the 5 damage to each creature in Planeswalkers, or the 3 Devils, depending on what we need at the time. And then finally, Devil's Playground as well, to give us some more devil tokens. 6 mana for 4 1/1s. Is pricey, but it does have that ability that if someone attacks us and it's their turn, we can block something and ping them and get Valgavoth a little bit bigger. Artifacts, mainly ramp and a little bit of protection, so Tantalite, Talisman, protection with the boots, more ramp with Mana Vault, a card you can cut which will bring the cost of the deck down, just so we're clear. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Diamond, Copper Tablet is quite nice. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Copper Tablet just deals 1 damage to that player. That's it. Nothing more. 2 mana. With Valgavoth in play, colourless damage that people can't really stop is very good. More ramp with the Fire Diamond and the Jet Medallion and Rakdos Signet and Ruby Medallion. A bit more of the Swiftfoot Boots to protect us, and then Commander Sphere as well for a bit more ramp and a card draw if we need it. Enchantments is where this gets slightly more interesting. So, Blood Chief Ascension is a starting point. If an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you put a quest counter on this, and whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if this has 3 or more counters on it, that player may lose 2 life, and if you do, you gain 2 life. It's a little bit of life gain for us, which is nice. The Roller Crusher Ride comes in from our new set. I like this. Enters the battlefield, deals X damage to up to X target creatures. Okay, but then if you've got Delirium, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, while there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyards, it deals double that damage instead. The chances are at some stage your artifacts will get confused, taken out. We've got a few little sack lands, you can imagine the rest. But so Delirium, a little bit of a challenge, but if we get it off, wow, 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 wow. Because, you know, Copper Tablet becomes nice very easily. Right, 2 cards that really do make this deck tick though. Pestilence and Pyromania. Obviously exactly the same card, just one's black, one's red. Paying the 1 red or 1 black to deal 1 damage to each creature in play is very nice because it gives you a way of making sure you can trigger the ability of Valgavoth each turn, so bear them in mind, get them in the deck. Revenge of the Ravens, and whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Another way, maybe the only way of getting damage in on turn, so that will grow Valgavoth. Spiteful Visions. Everyone likes drawing cards. Extra card draw is very nice, but this just means that they draw 2 cards and shock themselves, including you. You have to be careful you do shock yourself with this, so don't play if you're the lowest person on life, just so we're clear. But it deals 1 damage to that player as well, so, you know, bit of a double-edged sword, for want of a better phrase. But we do have Whip of Eberroth to give all our creatures lifelink, so we can gain some life that way. Painter's Studio and Defaced Gallery make an appearance. Unlock it, you get to exile top 2 players the next turn, and whenever you attacking creatures you control get +1/+0 till the end of turn. It's a little bit of fun. Virtue of Persistence, a little bit of targeted -3/-3, and then getting creatures from any graveyard into the battlefield under our control. And then to finish off, we do have 4 of the rooms. So we've got Glassworks for a little bit of damage, and then at the beginning of your upstep, this room deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's fine, go with that. Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber at the beginning of your upkeep. Step, if you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, otherwise you lose 2 life. But you can make a demon from the other side with a Ritual Chamber, it gives you a 6/6, but since Valgavoth is a demon, should be okay with this. Charred Foyer, you get to exile the top card of your library and play it this turn, and if you can get the Warp Space up and running so you can pay something for 0, even better. And then Funeral Room and Awakening Hall, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1, and whenever you unlock this room, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Nice little bit of interaction. Finally, Badlands is the other card I was talking about. Drop this out, put something else in if it's cheaper, but the rest of it, black-red lands all the way through. Nothing particularly fancy in here that I really need to point out. We have got Reliquary Tower in case things go a little bit pear-shaped, but we've also got Herbal Tomb of Yawgmoth in here to help us out with the lands if we need it to. So that's where I'm at with this deck, and that's how I'll be playing it on stream this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you think there's anything major I've left out, please let me know down below in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. But for now, Valgavoth is Harrower Sows. It's going to be the last one from Duskmourn. If there is one that I haven't covered here on the channel, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm feeling a little bit uninspired by this, which is why I reached out to a lot of the gang. So the rest of this week's video is going to be some older cards that may not seen play for a little while, so bear that in mind. They're not, well, one's very old, 2 are reasonably old, I suppose, but you'll see they're coming up during the rest of this week. But if there's anything you want to see, let me know down below, and yeah, I'll get it recorded and up for you. So for now, thanks for watching, take care, hope you hit the subscribe button, but this is me signing out. See you tomorrow for the next video. Bye.